This is quite a shock to me personally to read this in the newspaper that this is going to be instituted immediately. Now the TPS workers are paying rent. They're paying rent through their checks and paying taxes as well. So when you retire, they're saying that you are no longer considered applicable. They're not approving that anymore. What do you think of that, and how is that going to be affecting the millions of people across Turtle Island that are being affected by this and have families to feed, rent to pay, or pay a mortgage, etc.?
Yeah, so by not having a status, have a legal permanent residency or being a citizen, people, especially TPS, they are in the age that are coming close to retirement, and many of them are retired, like my colleague there, Rosa. And so how are they going to be having problems? They will be having problems because the Social Security might ask them the proof of legalization, the proof of the green card, the proof of you are a citizen. And if their TPS is expired, they're going to neglect, to apply for to have the checks. They're going to be neglect to apply for Medical or to apply for Medicaid. But as well, the ones who are working and we had these experiences already. People who had been working and they got the expiration and they need to, like every year, they need to show their employer that their work permit is functioning. So they need to bring, this letter that the court gave to them when every time the court decision ruled that the TPS was extended automatically. The businesses, they understand all these, 3 pages, from the court. So many of them, they were kind of very afraid to lose their jobs. They had to come to our organizations to ask for like a support letter saying, this is our client, look, they are legal to work here, so please keep their job. So as you say, they are also paying rent, they are paying bills, they are paying school, they are paying, they're paying their mortgages. A lot of TPS, they have their own homes, mortgages. They own also businesses. They might have some debts. So how are they going to pay? How are they going to pay all of this if they don't get money coming into their pockets? So this will affect the economy of the United States.
Right, as well as being targeted for arrest. For arrest,
yes.
Or kidnapping, actually.
Yes. TPS are very afraid right now because for now we are talking about Haiti will expire in August. Honduras TPS will expire in Nicaragua in July 5th. And I believe the Venezuelan has been expired already. So we are fighting in the courts, right?
Okay.
But meanwhile, what will happen to them? I mean, to live in this limbo, to live in this anxiety, it creates emotional stress, emotional harm, mental harm, because people, they are very worried if they are sent back to their countries. We've been discussing, in the early presentations that they've been living here 20 plus years, some maybe 30 more years. They have their families here. Maybe they have some relatives there that they don't have not much connection. So they work here. They, they are the teachers. They are the child care. They are the elderly providers. They are the hotel industry. They are the construction workers.
Right.
They are the fields worker. So do you think someone who is a citizen, a professional, I understand the vast majority of just American are well educated, are they the ones who are going to do this kind of job? Like even myself, I don't have a doctorate, but I will not work, in the fields. I will not work in the construction because I don't have the physical, what you can say,
ability
to or force.
Handle all that, yeah.
I will not do this kind of job.
Right.
The U.S. is always going to need the labor of undocumented immigrants because after we become legal, we achieve a path to citizenship, we're going to escalate the ladder.
Right.
And the jobs that we did in the past, we will not be doing it. So we will need other people, and that's how the U.S. economy sustains.
Right.
And I think that people who has a lot of money don't understand these things.
Right.
And I think that they don't understand how they are really harming this economy. There are employers, small employers. There are medium-sized businesses who are complaining against this because people is fleeing.
Right.
Like especially from the countries where there are more, there is more ICE activity, they are fleeing to like, sanctuary states. And they are losing already. So we had the experience in La Florida, like 2 years ago when they passed up the draconian anti-immigrant legislation at the state level. People start fleeing. So what they said, the politicians said, no, they talked to the leaders. They said, no, please tell your people, your community that we're only doing politics, that please stay and come back to La Florida. So, and that's what I think is we are doing with this administration. Unfortunately, I think that they don't understand, the power of the economic power that we have. By the way, so I just want to mention the TPS holders, like economically, they had been doing well. This is not an issue of saying, people is taking benefits from, from the government, like applying for Social Security or applying for medical or food stamps. No, we are the ones who are creating the cake. We don't take from, I was a TPS farmer. I never had 1 penny from the government.
TPS workers are the resource money for millions of people to collect Social Security in this country.
Yeah.
You're providing that through the taxes that you pay for your check.
Yeah, and
that's...
Yeah, and I just want to say not only TPS, because when we're talking about immigration, it's not only TPS. TPS is just a small part of the whole immigrant community, but we're talking about DACA, which is also a small percentage from the millions of people that we would like to have, a path to citizenship to become legal here. So we're talking about 12 million people, right? So that are paying taxes, that they don't get no help from the government, because they cannot claim it.
Right.
They're paying millions and
don't
millions.
Don't get medical care.
No medical care, not, when the pandemic.
Right. You couldn't get
who was in the front line? Was TPS and essential workers. They were dying.
Right.
And they were exposing their relatives, their families, when they come sick in their families, to their homes. But they are the ones who were providing the care, the child care, the taking care of the elderly, on the hotels and the restaurants, right? So, so I think that right now, the best thing that it can happen to the U.S. society and economy, I think, is to have a path to citizenship, to the HR 1511 registry bill, which is a law that exists since 1929, that every period of time Congress can come and make a visit and update it. So for the last 3 years we've been fighting for this. We've been organizing regional here in California, and we are asking Congress to update this bill, that people who have been living in the United States for the last 7 years, who had been paying taxes, who can show that they've been working and that they have a good moral character, it means that they don't have crimes and felonies, that they immediately can apply for the green card as soon as we pass this law. And I think that we can pass that. Millions of people show a few weeks ago on the streets asking for a path to citizenship.
Thank you, Manuel. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
And get your number later.
Yes.